Alright, here we go. We'll talk about the patch notes for... This is 3.03, right? This is, what is this? July 22nd, 2024? And I think this is like a really weird version of the game that we're going into because, for one, there's no actual immediate... Like, there's talk about more changes to come. And this game, like, these patch notes are meant to, like, target some of, like, the despairs of the game, right? Notably, Wild Assault and maybe like momentum, right? Like how strong like it is to keep momentum. And so a lot of that is to dial that back down. And so how are they going to be doing that? That's what this patch note is about. You've probably already seen like the Twitter feeds. Hi YouTube, yeah man, appreciate it. So blah blah blah. This is all normal stuff. So yeah, we are now on version 3.03. So I haven't even read these actually. So changes to game mechanics, right? There it is. We've made adjustments to the properties of the new Wild Assault mechanic added in Season 3, as well as to the burst gauge in relationship to it. I haven't really paid attention to this. I don't think you build a whole lot of burst anymore off of your Roman cans after a break with it, right? I'm not sure. I gotta pay attention to that. This is the one that I think is this is like the anti-American nerf right here. We've also made changes relating to a Roman cancel for invincible moves, which were highly effective for comebacks, right? This was targeting one character, specifically Leo. This is supposed to be on stream. This is streaming. We're streaming it now. And so, so the big culprits here, right, were that a lot of characters would just get a DP, they would do a reversal, and then they could run their offense off of it. This combined with Wild Assault kind of just led to like snowball victories, where the game never felt comfortable because you were always in a full defensive state basically once you lost your turn. And I think what this is going to be doing is kind of resetting it and letting the players breathe a little bit more, which I think is overall a little bit healthier for the game. So here we go. So Wild Assault. When a Wild Assault triggers a wall break, the opponent can now tech after the area shift, right? So it's no longer a hard knockdown. This means, yeah. So yeah, now you're forced to use supers. And yeah, and because of this is actually the big thing too, is because that you don't get a hard knockdown, you have to use your supers to get the hard knockdown, and thus you don't have meter for the next stage of the game, right after you do an area shift. So the game is basically going to be slowed down drastically, I think. Like, drastically. Like, maybe like 20%, maybe? Which is really healthy. But it's going to favor the zoners a lot more over than, say, a certain types of characters, right? I wonder if Chow Chip's going to be doing in this one. Anyways, so Red Wild Assault. So here are all the Wild Assaults. Red Wild Assault. Red reduce momentum when blocked, making it more challenging to continue your offense. So I tested this with Sin earlier in some matches. You used to be able to do like basically a long block string, like a super long block string, into Wild Assault and still get 2 close slashes. Now you're only guaranteed 1 close slash, if not that even at all, because you have to do it like almost immediately. So this means that you're doing a Red Wild Assault into a consistent timing. What's up, Satoshi? White Wild Assault. Well, let me pull up my. Do you still get tension boost? Yes, you do. Oh, shit. Bam. Like that. Right. Whatever. Shush. It's fine. Pulsar stream. I'll make a video edit. Whatever. I don't care. White Wild Assault. It's minus on block? It's probably like minus... I don't know if it's -3. I gotta see if Soul could punish this. It might be only -2, which still wouldn't be too bad depending on spacing. Because a lot of times when you do this, if you space it properly, you could put yourself in a good spot. Like, this might not hinder Gold Lewis too badly, depending on how well they could space their Wild Assaults. And then Blue Wild Assault is pretty much unchanged, which I think Blue Wild Assault definitely went up in value just a little bit because of the 2 nerfs. Red is still probably the best, because it feels largely unchanged, but maybe that's just because the character I tested it on, it feels like it didn't really do anything to him. Burst Gauge. We've reduced the rate of natural gain over time as well as upon wall stick. This reduces the overall amount of Burst Gauge available throughout the match. Yeah, So basically, they're slowing the game down, which I think is what I've been telling them to be doing since, like season 2. The game is just too fast, and now they just, like, it's like they're realizing the problems of having high damage, that the game is just too fast, and that the game needs to breathe, and you just don't get to breathe. Oh yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. Uku, let me know what you think about this one, or Satoshi. Roman cancel for invincible moves. Invincible moves and counters that can be used as reversals without tension gauge can no longer be Roman cancelled in any situation. This means you will always have the chance to punish them as long as you block them. This is not necessarily true, because, like, Souls and Leo's DP actually have, like, almost, like, they have such little recovery that they're actually really hard to punish. They're, like, tricky. And so I think this is a pretty interesting change. I think it's actually a good change, but it definitely starts making the game favor characters that don't have reversals now, because the stock of a reversal goes down drastically, which I am curious to see how tier list will shake up. However, I wouldn't want to make a tier list now until October, because October it's stated that we'll be getting another balancing adjustment. What's up, Blisk? However, they also... Oh yeah, so here's the interesting thing. They made DPs... However, they also gained throw invincibility, making them more powerful as a reversal before. There are some exceptions to this, with counter moves not gaining throw invincibilities. This is just only Viking, right? I don't think there's any other... well, I think it's a lot easier to deal with, because reversals in Guilty Gear are a lot weaker, right? Overdrives can still be Roman canceled, blah, blah, blah. And so these characters mainly got buffs. Axel, Potemkin, Zato, Testament, Bedman, Johnny, and Alpha. And this is the thing I was mentioning earlier, right? There's a major balance update with changes for all characters is planned for late October to November, right? Right, so this is the summary of what we just read. Oh yeah! Well... so if you want, like, the white Wild Assault change, this is pretty big. So increased hit stop duration, I don't really know what that means. Does that mean it lingers more? I don't know. Decreased knockback when... I think it's like more of like an impact hit now, right? So it slows down the game a bit more for the confirmation, I think. Decreased knockback when performed. Why? It's -3? Okay, so Soul can still punish it? Damn. That's messed up. That's super messed up. I hate this game. I really do. I'm gonna test that. Okay, anyways. Decreased knockback when performed uncharged. The knockback of the charged version remains unchanged. Remove guard crush effect. This is the biggest one. That's no longer guard crush. Okay. Yeah, so basically, the white Wild Assault is functionally just a DP for them to, like, try. It's still relatively a safe reversal, right? But they just don't get their momentum off of it anymore, which I think is a great thing. And it does have the side effect that they are also, like, right on top of you, right? I feel like some characters are going to be able to take advantage of this still really well. Like, Naga with a properly spaced white Wild Assault can still put you in that range where his 5k will reach you, and you're not going to have a good enough button to contest it. And I think the same thing for Gold Lewis. He still might be in a range where Typhoon is a viable option, where you can't really reach him either. So, we'll see how it is. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely a nerf. This is straight up a nerf. Alright, let's do the character changes. Alright, Soul, he had the DP nerf. Kai had the DP nerf. Me, bug fix. Axel, low. I don't know how these changes are going to work because I'm not an Axel player. On grounded hit, standing H now launches the opponent on hit, making it possible to combo. That's pretty big. Like, Axel's, like, really feasting right now. You can now go for extra damage and better situational advantage by going... Oh, wait. That's pretty big, actually. When was Sickle... Is Sickle Flash the flip? Oh, this is toxic as F, by the way. This is toxic. The blowback after an aerial hit of Jump S no longer slams the opponent down, making it possible to hit with aerial snail. This is toxic. This is absolutely toxic. The projectile from the charged version of Whistling now moves faster, creating... Is Whistling win the command grab? Whatever. Oh, wait, aerial snail's a hard knockdown? Damn, Axel has some buffs, dude. Like, Axel has some actual buffs to the character. These are pretty brutal. He's, like, really strong right now. A lot of good conversions. He needs it, though, in all honesty. He really does. Because he gets bullied pretty hard by, like, the faster characters. I think this is gonna really hurt Chip a lot, actually. Because a lot of, like Chip really harnesses momentum. And not having this is kind of brutal. But I mean, it's like I think what it is that I have Strive Brain, where that you need to play like a barbarian all the time, and then I think they're just trying to make you like go to school. They want you to finish kindergarten. That's all they want you to do is just go to kindergarten and then learn your alphabet. That's what they want you to do in this patch. But I think I'm fine with this. I think I'm okay with this, right? Um, the Potemkin changes were pretty cool too. Let's see here. There are now more opportunities now to get into range for Potbuster. Oh, goody. He can go for Okazumi for more situations because the opponent can no longer tech after standing H and Hammerfall. Now, if you haven't seen the videos, Heavenly Potemkin Buster grabs at like incredibly low heights now. Like absurdly low heights. I'm pretty sure he could probably grab Sin out of his overhead. We'll test that later. Anyways, standing H being a hard knockdown is a huge deal, by the way. Because that move clips people from like jump-ins, or better yet, he'll catch people on their landing recoveries. Ground throw. I didn't know about this. Standardized distance after a successful throw. Mid-screen regardless of opponent carry. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this is a thing too. So basically, this is triggering proximity guard, basically. I think the hard slash buff is pretty big. It's a pretty good buff to Potemkin, which I think he needed. Then Milia, something about inputs. I originally thought he had this, but I guess not. This is a big change too. So Eddie, so right now, if you actually if you yellow Roman cancel or blue Psych Burst Eddie, it just kills it. So it goes to a full reset for Zato. And so that means that basically, like, he just has no gauge when he fights you. And this was really, 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 really hurting Zato players right now. Because you would just Roman cancel, and then you'd kill Eddie, and then Eddie would be pretty stranded without anything to do. The Pierce change is probably a really big deal too. That this probably means that he probably even has like jab into Pierce, with might even be a block string now. Actually, block string. And then break the law. Break the law lets you teleport. This is the EX move, which is funny that they just gave him an EX move in XX. So, well, I guess it's not true because in XX it swaps positions. This one he just moves to the position. Yeah, and then Leo got the DP nerf as well. I actually didn't know about this. So I never really thought that jumping H. I didn't kind of think about this, but jumping H was like not visually affected by blood. So I was like, I just never thought about it. So I guess it does hit like as a pseudo while rising instant overhead with jump H. I'm skipping Biking because Biking just got sad. Offense incorporating the succubus has been made more effective. I really like the changes that Testament got, like a lot. They're really, really good. And so here we go. Crouching S, decreased knockback. Crouching H, decreased attack startup. This shit's so fast now, by the way. You can do like 3 of these in a combo. You're just like, whoo. You're just spinning the scythe on the floor, like you're making some sick beats for a rave or something. Like, I don't know. Like, there's some changes I don't quite understand either. How this one works. Adjust it to hit regardless of the opponent's hurt box position. So I don't know if I think maybe it pops them up higher more. I don't know. Grounded Grave Reaper. Increased horizontal movement speed after changing to succubus form. The succubus will now be set at a farther away position. Okay. So I guess this means that if you... So you know how his 236S works? Or 236H? Basically, you throw out the Grave Reaper, and then you can actually... It makes a fireball that just travels around the floor. And if you cancel it into the crow... Or, wait. It's a crow, right? Is it the crow? Hold on. 236H. And then... I forget. Hold on. Wait, I'm like brain farting. I just played the character earlier. Hold on. I forget. I feel bad. I actually legitimately forgot how this works. But you can cancel it into the succubus, basically, right? And what this does... wait. Oh, you know what? This might not. This might actually be. There's two scenarios of this that I think are affecting this. That makes me a little bit confused. So, okay, if you just do 236S by itself, it'll eventually just turn into the succubus. And I guess now that one goes further out. And I could probably test this very quickly by just seeing how far it goes, because I know exactly how far it goes from before. And you feel like Testament and Johnny are the biggest winners? I think Elphel is the biggest winner, I think. I would say Elphel's probably the biggest winner, because she has the number one buff you can ever get in a fighting game, and I'll show you what that is when we get to it. Oh yeah, and this is a pretty big one too. Possession. The succubus no longer disappears when teleporting to the position. Uh, you want to learn her? She's super easy. You can learn her in like 2 minutes. She has no combos. She's like the I think she's the easiest character to play in the game. I actually think she might be the easiest character. Oh yeah, this is the biggest change like Testament has right now. Well, I don't know. They're all pretty good, but this one's really huge too. Um, Arbiter's Sign just goes anywhere. This is insanely good. This is like insanely powerful because it just hits you no matter where you are. This is a great way of dealing with really bad players because you can melee them from any screen. Because a lot of times, what Testament will do is he'll hit you and not have a scenario where they could follow up. But I think this is going to change because Possession is going to let you set up for Stain. So I think Testament's going to be really, really interesting right now. Then Starship got nerfed. Alright, so yeah, okay, we'll talk about this real quick. So Sin got really shafted with the DP nerf, right? Like extra shafted. Because so not only can Sin not Roman cancel any of his follow-ups, or not only can he not Roman cancel the DP, he can't even do his follow-ups. And so I'm just like, what? What? I thought this was like a callback to his old move, like his old reversal, like where they kind of kept it kind of good. Because like in Exerd, they let you cancel his DP basically, and it was like a really strong tool. And so in this game they let you still do it, but it was just a lot weaker. And then in this one they just like shafted him, and I think this nerf is like really brutal for Sin. Not so much because like you spam DP with this character, but because like it feels like really weird when you do the DP and you can't even do a follow up. It feels just like ugly. It doesn't feel good. Like that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't feel right. And so I think they should let him still do his follow ups in the mode. That's what I think they should do. I really do think they should do that. Like let him be able to do his follow ups at the very least. You cannot do Kara Super anymore. So this is really, really brutal. I mean, you really don't need Super right now in this game to win with Sin, anyways, because his neutral's so good now. His neutral's really, really, really strong. The DP was just enough to leverage like a win, basically. Like if the DP was you winning more, basically, was what it is. All right, so Bedman got a bunch of weird buffs I don't understand, but Far Slash is a really big change. Because like so Far Slash actually like blew them away and he wasn't able to follow up, but now I think he can. I don't know to what degree this is, because I haven't played Bedman in a while. But overall, I think this also might be a bigger change than I understand too. Any movement change is usually a pretty big deal, depending on how like obvious it is. But jumping forward and increased movement distance, we could probably check this out. Um, so okay, here we go. This is the one. Uh, wait, so is 5H bigger now for Johnny? Is that what this is? Expanded frontal hitbox? Is it just bigger? Does it hit further? Anyways, further the forward dash having decreased recovery was really nice. It feels really good. His movement feels really crispy right now, and I like it a lot. Like it feels good enough to the point where I can understand why he can't block. That's kind of where I'm at right now with Johnny. And these are all basically the changes that they made to Mistfinder so that when you hit them, you get a counter hit effect. These are really, really good because Johnny players basically have to use this at some point to cover the distances that they normally can't attack in, right? So they'll swing with these special moves, and them being able to get a counter hit and picking up off of these is like a pretty big deal. And so they probably can even do like counter hit like Mistfinder into like 2S Wild Assault, and then get a nice corner carry combo. This is like really good. This is like really, really healthy for the character. Alright. So I didn't really read these, but I mean for Alpha, but I did see the biggest one. Let me check something real quick. How fast is it? UGST Alpha frame data. I'm pretty sure her 2P is a 5 framer, right? Yeah, okay. So this is huge. Okay. So are you making me faint? There shouldn't be, because you have to understand those are also those are unsafe. They're unsafe. So it's fine. You just play around it, bait them out as usual. So this is the biggest change, and I think in the game for any character is this right here. So crouching P is decreased attack startup. I don't think she has a 3 frame normal now, but she has a 4 frame jab. This immediately makes you a much better character because it solves matchups that you wouldn't normally be able to solve because you have a 4 frame jab. Like I can give you a good example would be Abba. You know Abba does like the flip kick. If you have a 5 frame jab and Abba starts mashing jab after her flip kick, she's -1. Your 5 frame jab is gonna clash with her, right? So hold on, let me do the scenario. So this is I always say this. I think Abba just beats you if you're a 5 frame jabber because of this change. Right, if you're a dedicated zoner, you're probably okay. But if you're not a dedicated zoner and Abba gets in, I think you just lose the match. So she'll do the flip kick, which is -1, right? But she has a 4 frame jab. And so if you're a 5 frame jab, you will clash, right? Because her 4 frame jab technically becomes a 5 frame jab. But now she'll keep mashing jab. Her jab is 4 frames. I don't think it's updated yet. I don't think it's updated yet. Unless it was 6? You think it was updated? I don't think she had a 6 frame jab though. I gotta verify. I think you're right though. I should probably verify if it is a 4 frame or 6 frame. We'll test it with Abba. We'll just test it with Abba. Anyways, I don't know what this really does. Far slash adjusted to be less affected by dash momentum. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Extended backward movement distance adjusted so that the beginning of the boost projectile properties change. Wow. Is this move safer? Oh! I didn't realize that's what this does. Alright, so first of all, So from my earlier testings of Elfelt, her her bridal express, right, where she hits you with her ass, it basically always puts you in a position where you can grenade them now. So before it pushed you out of range and you couldn't reach them with a grenade, but now she always gets Oki into grenade, which I think is like incredibly strong for the character. Oh, also they made her command grab bigger. But yeah, those are the changes for the game. And so if I had to like really pick, I think my real winner. I mean, I think all the buffs to all those characters was like really good. Um, I want to say maybe to me, in my eyes, Testament's like the real winner here, because getting Arbiter to hit everywhere is just such a game changer for neutral. That kind of makes it really terrifying. And I don't know. It might really come down to how well Axel can convert too. If Axel's getting some nice combos from mid screen all the time, that's also a really big deal. But overall, I would say, I'm gonna okay. If I had to pick it, if I had to pick my top three for like the biggest winners, I would still probably say Testament, Elfelt, and it's hard for me to say Axel because I haven't played Axel, and I feel like Bedman's changes don't necessarily really affect neutral too much. So I feel like he might not be as like super strong because also you got the white wall assault nerf too as well. So either Johnny or Axel maybe. Either way, it looks like it's gonna be a rough time for the players. The big thing though is that the game is going to be slower, which is just ultimately healthier for the game, and that's what it really needed. All right, there, done. YouTube done.